How are we doing tonight, guys? Hopefully doing well. Yes, I'm doing great. I already know what that means, Bottom Frag. It was a good day. Good day for me too. Morning. Where you from, Kaylee, right? Where you from, brother? To say good morning at this time. What's up, Charles? Nice to see you here too. Have a little bit of a smaller crowd tonight. We'll be fine. We'll be chilling, right? What's up? All right, well, let's get straight into it. Why don't we? I am going to delete this very quickly. Those were my drawings from the pre-week, but it's all recorded and uploaded on YouTube anyways, so I'm going to be able to make a few nice clips, try and show off this, get some more people in the Discord. You guys already know. But if we look at what happened today, we had pretty clear expansion, right? If we look at today's range, we had a nice 314 handle range on NASDAQ and 71 handles on ES. Both both reached objective. NASDAQ failed to reach it on that day, right? I have candles that opened at 6, right? At settlement. So right now our candles are indeed opening. And as we can see, we failed to reach it in session compared to ES, which I believe got hit before 4. Let's go see very quickly. Yeah, as we can see, the 1545 candle made us reach all the way to that daily external we were looking for, right? In the weekly outlook, we talked about this low resistance liquidity. I marked out these equal highs specifically, just in case sometimes after a large range day, which was pretty much yesterday compared to previous days, well, you don't necessarily expect the biggest expansion, but then you have CPI that was today, and that's where you have two differing factors, right? Two things telling you a different story. So I just had this as a low-hanging fruit objective first, and its equivalent on ES. Oh no, that was the first liquidity on ES, which was also an objective. Personally, I traded NASDAQ today. I just feel like when it's unclear which one is stronger, it will always be NASDAQ that will be more volatile. But we dive down, right? 4 hour, same thing as usual. As we can see, this morning, what did we do? We retraced into the order block, the bullish fair value gap created from the displacement off the daily order block. That's what I was trying to say, and respected it very clearly, right? And there was divergence here because ES did not reach into it. I'll give you guys a little drawing here. The low of this candle, I'm looking right here. The low of this candle is 5266.25, and the low of this candle is 5266.25 as well. So as we can see, there is divergence in the opening, in the low of the candle and the fill of the gap. That is not SMT, but it forms and it creates lower time frame SMT. We can go look at it right now. If we look right here, we have our lower time frame SMT. Doesn't seem like it, but this is higher. If I mark it out correctly, I'll remove the gap. I might need to zoom in here for you guys to see, but if we look at the values again, the low and the high right here, we can see that this is at 393, and we have right here 393.5. So we have 2 ticks above. It's not the cleanest SMT there is there, because I would prefer to use this one, right? Seeing as this is lower and this is equal on ES. And if we actually go to my SMT screen very quickly, it's not set up to be presented very quickly, but we look at the Dow at the same time, which was this morning. You can see the Dow also makes a lower low compared to this swing, and more specifically this swing, which confirms SMT. I always use the Dow as confirmation to my SMT between NASDAQ and ES. That has always been the highest probability for me compared to just looking at Dow, which is sometimes way not weaker or less volatile, just slower. It's usually slower, which would then mean less volatile compared to NASDAQ and ES. So I don't like seeing SMT between the Dow and NASDAQ and the Dow and ES. I feel like that is lower probability, but again, I don't have data yet, so I can't say that. So for now, I just leave it at the fact that I don't use it. We had our news, CPI 830, and as my students will know, CPI often runs on side with objective. And ICT also says that it is the news that there's the highest chance of manual intervention. I don't look at that. I really just see it as, from my experience, CPI often runs on side to the drawn liquidity, especially when you have PPI early during the week making such a strong low of week, right? What was there? We retraced into the order block. There was a great confluence that was our low of week, and we were not going to be moving lower after that. As I said yesterday, I expected a deeper retracement, but I adjust to current conditions. I do not try and stick to my previous idea. What means on site? On side, not on site. Sorry, I might be speaking a little quickly, but on side means you're on the right side of the market. So when what I mean by on side here, it means in the same direction as our drawn liquidity. So I'm basically saying it is usually not a manipulation, but the start of the distribution. Make sense? Awesome. Yeah, sometimes translating between both language can get a little rough, right? But it is what it is. On my intraday time frame, my 15-minute chart right here, we can clearly see a nice retracement into our gap, specifically from, let me just point it out correctly, specifically from the news. And you should regard these gaps as of higher importance. Not you want to see a reaction, blah, blah, just a higher importance. So any price action within these gaps is of a higher importance to me. And if we dive down to our 1 minute chart and go look at this, I'll move ES a little smaller here. And we just go all the way down to what happened this morning. We watch our 9:30 open after the news, because you'd wait for 9:30 open to be trading this. We have a clear, well, we have a small Jewish swing higher, first of all. So for all the 9:30 scalpers here, their bias was probably short, but short where? Short to get into here, to go sweep the liquidity inside where? My intraday fair value gap right here. It was a pretty clear day for maybe for experienced traders. If it wasn't for you, make sure you concentrate on this. Well, there was SMT at the top, right? That formed the retracement. Okay. But I don't want to be trading the retracement anyways. I want to be trading the expansion after the retracement. And this is the range I am currently in, right? I have from this swing low to this swing high. If I go into a 5-minute chart, it might be a little bit easier to see. Well, actually with CPI, not really. But what am I looking for before I can start saying, hey, the algorithm is now ready to look for higher prices. We are now going to switch into a buy model. Well, I need a retracement to a discount and efficiency. I need to rebalance before being able to move higher. So then we retrace to a discount, rebalance this 15-minute inefficiency, that little tap of consequent encroachment right here. And yes, of course, a little mohawk right there, which is allowable, was very, very beautiful to me. And I believe if I show the 1 minute gap, no, I probably had the 5-minute gap on. I don't want to show just something specific to this one very quickly, but I like to utilize the opening range gap here and there, and we had consequent encroachment of the opening range gap somewhere here. We had a beautiful tap and rejection. It was pretty beautiful if you understand this concept. If not, I'm not going to dive into it. It's a lot more complex than people put it out to be, so I don't like getting into it as for a more entry model idea, you know? I'm trying to keep this Discord family friendly, if you get what I'm saying. But after this trade, if to our discount and efficiency, we see clear displacement, right? And of course, that displacement also forms, well, also shows us that it's invalidating premium discount arrays. This is a clear indication that we could be looking for higher prices. And if you see right here, I pointed this out in chat today in general. You can just go up and look at it. We have a beautiful breaker block, and I'm going to mark out the text. Right here, I have a beautiful breaker block, and we don't have to look too far to see that we have right here an overlapping fair value gap. That's my model right there. Right? Simple unicorn. Right? Where's my higher time frame point of interest? Well, in this specific case, I have a 15-minute inefficiency. So it's not the best. But I'm trading based off the narrative that I have a higher time frame movement to be completing. So if I'm on my daily chart right here, I'm looking for a move to these highs. So I have my drawn liquidity, and I'm just looking for a way to continue towards my drawn liquidity. And by utilizing the news and seeing this fractal of consolidation, rating that consolidation into a discount and efficiency, that is just being able to read intraday order flow. And as I always say, I like to utilize the same words to talk about the same things because, as I told you guys, this is a 15-minute gap. Intraday time frame in my video for the guys that watched it with us, 15-minute. I don't do these things as at random. All right, I just want you guys to know that. But we had a beautiful unicorn right here. And as you guys saw in general, if you did, by the way, in validation level, I utilized this fair value gap order block because I didn't want to put my stop at the low of this candle and utilize this inverted fair value gap. I was more comfortable letting it trade into this candle. And I had a low hanging fruit objective at this high. I wanted to take a little partial here. I had 15 or 16 contracts at the end of it, but I scaled in along the way. My initial position was 10. So how I like to handle these is take off 1 or 2 right here, which worst case scenario covers my commissions, which is what I like to do a lot of the times. I like to take money out quickly, even if it's just barely any, by saying like I only take out 10% of my position, but I took out money and then I better handle the psychology of it. I better handle my trade moving forward because I'm not in the position where, oh, I haven't taken money out. That's just me, and I need more experience to be able to handle that better. But for now, that is the solution that helps me. So, little low-hanging fruit, 1.69R, not the best, but we had 2.37 all the way up to this simple buy side, which is just current high of day, right? Simple buy side liquidity, which I'm going to mark out very quickly as lower time frame external range liquidity. And of course, we had our draws higher with the equal highs with the external range liquidity. And of course, you had plenty of inefficiencies to choose from. I believe I was looking at an hourly chart and we had something pretty clean at these highs. Oh yeah, I just had this order block right here, which we tapped into, continued, and usually when we do trend continuations or flips, you'll see us trade into it, retest it, and then move forward. That's just a little something, and I'm not explaining it right now. As I said, trying to keep it a little light. But you had a beautiful setup, and of course, when you would be trading said setup, I would honestly hold up to here. Why? Because that's my higher time frame objective, right? So I'm taking low hanging fruit right here at this current high of day, low hanging fruit objective, right? Which offers me 2 point, what was it? 2.37. Let's just call it 2R. All right. So you have 2R at your low hanging fruit. At least half of my position is out there. So if I risked 1%, I'm at least up 1%. Stop loss is at break even. I'm not stressed at all, and I'm just letting my trade run. And on days like this, trending days, by the way, you'll see we ran all the way to the close almost, which was right here. Let me just mark it out. All the way to the close. I call it 410 because that's where Top Step closes. We failed to reach the external during session, but as you can see, after the inducement, we just went for it. And for me, seeing ES taking it out right here when NASDAQ was going down, I just closed my position. I believe I actually closed it sooner, somewhere right here, because I saw this inducement. And usually when you have inducement this late in the day, it's because it's going to do something weird. It's always something weird. It's either consolidation or it's going to expand crazily, do a crazy retracement. I mean, so just a low resistance retracement. And with all these lows to the left, I wasn't very comfortable. So I just closed it here. Missed out on, what was it? About 20, probably 30 handles. But 2.37. And then you could have closed, if you closed 50% at the beginning, you had an additional 25% right here, 5.43. that is 1 point something R, 1.30 something R realized. So you're up another 1 point, let's just call it 1.25%. You're already up 2%. And then if you hold a final runner up all the way to here, well, you're pretty happy. And as I said, I closed somewhere down here in this first move down. But as you can see from the R result, that just bought me 8 trades. I like to think like that. This buys me 8 losses. So I am now allowed to take 8 losses. And of course, that's crazy, right? You don't want to be taking 8 losses in a row after making 8R and that being your thing. But these types of big trades just give me a cushion for the rest of the week. I just feel comfortable now. And that doesn't mean I'm going to make mistakes on the next day. And it doesn't mean I'm going to try and push my luck and just lose it all on the next day. It just means that now, hey, I made money. I can take it easy. I actually don't have to trade the rest of the week. So I am way more picky with trades because I hate giving back profit. So when I have a big trade like this, I usually like to just take the payout right away. Did you guys have any questions? Very trending day. So you had this opportunity, and again, I feel like it happens often, but I don't see any more opportunity worthwhile other than, hey, I entered here, unless, again, you entered before, but I would very much not recommend to trade before CPI. It takes a lot of experience, but as I said, often runs on side, so usually if you have the right draw, it might be right. Just with all the traders on ICT traders on Twitter and everything, they don't understand one thing, it seems. I see a lot of people trading before news, and it's okay if you're experienced and you know what you're doing, but for someone new, they might try it, and if they're on a live account, it's way different than being on simulated. Simulated, your stop works even if there's news, it still fills you. Live, you might not get filled. So like, for example, I have a swing trading account with my own personal money in it, and if I trade before news and it just goes in the wrong way, it might skip my stop and just get margin called on the whole account. I might lose the whole account when my stop was allowing me to risk $1,000, for example. So just, I would not recommend it if you're trading your own money. And if you want to test it, anything you want to trade, you first have to backtest. I'm not seeing any questions in chat, so I'm guessing it was all pretty straightforward for you guys. Hopefully. Yeah, trending days are not so complicated. It's really, you get in early and you just let it run the whole day. Trust me, they're the best. The best, the very, very best. Thank you. Don't see you often in here, Bottom Frag, but I see your executions. You're doing amazing, brother. I hope everything keeps going on your way moving forward. It's always a pleasure to see the other traders that, of course, trade different models, right? I see you utilize a lot of standard deviations, though, so I'm guessing that's what brought you here. And just to give you a little insight, there is more coming on standard deviations, like high probability reversal ranges, which I believe that might be something that you could use for your trading. Just a little sneak peek, right? I'm planting seeds in your heads. That sounds creepy said like that, though. That's awesome, Charles. Yeah, great day, honestly. Great day for trading. I'm just seeing you type. I'm going to wait up before I end this call. Let you answer at least. Oh, no one's typing. All right. Well, you know what, guys? Have a great night. I'll be trading tomorrow, and I hope I'll be seeing you guys for tomorrow's price action review as well. You guys have a great night. We'll see each other tomorrow, all right?